Hello everyone. I hope your summer is off to a great start. The Toronto real estate market is not having a great start to its summer. And as I've mentioned in previous months, the condo market continues to get beating. And I'll touch on that really quickly. Active listings continue to increase. And at the end of May, active listings set an all-time record for number of listings. At the end of June, that was repeated. At the end of June of this year, there was 6,721 active condo listings in Toronto, which is the highest ever on record. And if you look at year over year compared to June of 2023, that's more than a 100% increase. And a small stat that I found interesting is if you look back at November and October of 2020, the active listings at the end of June of this year were 20% higher than that period. And if you remember October, November of 2020, that was the dark days of COVID when no one wanted to live in condos in downtown Toronto. So that summarizes, that shows the condo market is just still not in a great place and probably won't be for the foreseeable future. That being said, the average sale price for condos does seem to have found some level ground. For the third month in a row, that being April, May, and June of 2024, the average price has sort of hovered around that $780,000 mark. And, you know, on the big picture, from the peaks, which was April of 2022, the average price for condos in Toronto is only down 6% currently. So, you know, while sales volume has, not picked up for condos, the sales price does seem to have found some stable footings, and we'll see if that kind of continues over the next few months. Now, on the other hand, while the condo market was taking a beating, the freehold market was kind of acting very differently and was doing quite well, and still is doing quite well. January through to the end of May this year, average sale price and sales volume increased each one of those months consistently. But there does seem to be a little bit of a change happening right now. And I'll talk about the stats to kind of, iterate this in a minute. But I think it's also important just for me to tell you how I feel in the market right now. And this is me talking to my buyer clients. This is me talking to seller clients. This is me talking to other agents who have both buyer clients and seller clients. And there has been a noticeable shift. If you look back, at Q1 or even the start of Q2 of this year, the market was much more active, the freehold market, I should say. And so homes back then in, February, March particularly, that were in good neighborhoods and renovated, were getting multiple offers and were selling for strong prices. They might not have been selling for as strong a price as they were back in the peaks of 2022, but there was an uptick in volume and in sales price. And, when the Bank of Canada did not increase rates in April and just held their rate in April, that sort of contributed to taking a little bit of momentum out of the market. And there has been a noticeable shift, like I said, in the latter half of April and through May and through June, where some buyers have moved back to the sideline and a lot of listings that earlier in the year, would have received 4, 5, 6, 7 offers are now either A, not getting offers at all, or maybe B, getting 1 or 2 offers that may not be acceptable to that particular seller, and those listings are then coming off the market. So we're seeing things changing again, and even after the Bank of Canada did their first rate cut at the start of June, that didn't help anything. They cut rates by 25 basis points, and some economists and some realtors thought that would be enough to push some buyers back into the market, but it hasn't happened. I think buyers are smart enough to realize and do the math that 25 basis points is not going to make any difference on an actual monthly payment. So until we see consistent decreases by the Bank of Canada in that interest rate, it won't really impact mortgage payments. And I don't think that will be enough to influence buyers to get back in the market, especially when we start seeing a lot of headlines in the media talking about how average sales price is down and sales volume is down. And the Toronto market, like we've talked about in previous months, is very emotionally driven. And so when you start seeing headlines like that, that are true headlines, you start seeing buyers, retract a little bit further. Now, the one stat that I think is the most telling for June, and that may kind of foreshadow how things are going to play out in the future, at least for the next few months, is the sales to new listing ratio. And as a quick refresher, so that stat is derived by taking new listings for any particular month and dividing that by the number of sales for that same month. And so the sales to new listing ratio for June was 45%, which means that basically 45% of new listings sold. And if you take that and you look back for history, June at 45% was the lowest it's been in over 15 years. So meaning a lot of those new listings are not being absorbed. And if we have a continuation of an increase in active listings and a decrease in sales volume, that means prices will trend down. And so it will be interesting to see how things play out over the next 3 or 4 months. Some of that will be as a result of what the Bank of Canada does with their announcements. There's another interest rate announcement at the end of July, and there will be another one at the start of September. If both of those announcements are decreases in rates, maybe 25 basis points, maybe 50 basis points, if that happens, we may start seeing sales volume pick back up in the fall again, which might drag average prices up with it. But if the Bank of Canada holds rates or it's very unlikely it increases rates, but if they hold rates, it's very possible that the market just stays quiet and we might continue to see a decrease in sales volume and a decrease in average sales price, heading into the fall market. So I'll be keeping my eye on things throughout the summer. I'll report back to you as soon as I can when they have some relevant information. Until then, enjoy plenty of time with your friends, your family, and hopefully you find some time to relax. If you have any questions about your home or your neighborhood, feel free to reach out to me anytime at all. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.